WorldComEDU. Elite Children's Classics.
The Great Stone Face. Once there was a little village with many mountains around it. The people in the village were all good. Not only the adults, but the children liked to watch the Great Stone Face. One afternoon, a woman was talking with her son in front of their house. The sun was going down. They were talking about the Great Stone Face, which was shining brightly in the setting sun. What was the Great Stone Face? The Great Stone Face was a work of nature. It was made of many big rocks on one of the mountains. It looked like a human face. In the light of the sunset, it seemed alive.
"Mother,"
said the little boy, whose name was Ernest,
"I wish it were alive and able to speak to me. It looks so kind that its voice must be very pleasant. I want to meet a man like the Great Stone Face someday."
"Someday you may see such a man as the Great Stone Face, if an old prophecy comes true," said his mother.
"What prophecy, Mother? Please tell me all about it,"
Ernest said eagerly. His mother began to tell him the story that she was told when she was very little. At that time, she herself was younger than little Ernest. The story was so old that even the Indians had heard it from their forefathers. It was said that someday a child would be born in this village. He would become a great man. His face could be exactly the same as that of the Great Stone Face. The people waited and waited for the man to come to their village, but no man with such a face appeared.
"Oh, Mother, Mother," cried Ernest, "I believe I will see him one day."
His mother was a thoughtful woman. She did not like to discourage her son. She said, "Perhaps you will see him some day." Ernest never forgot the story that his mother told him. It was always in his mind when he looked up at the Great Stone Face. Ernest grew up to be a very bright boy. He had no teacher, but he was more intelligent than most other boys. The Great Stone Face became his teacher. When work was over, Ernest used to watch the Great Stone Face for hours. Ernest began to imagine that the Great Stone Face was looking at him with a smile. About this time, there was a rumor in the village. People said,
"The great man has appeared at last. His face is just like the Great Stone Face. Many years ago, there was a young man in this village. His name was Gathergold. He worked hard and became rich. He had many ships. He built a wonderful house made of marble. He will soon come back."
Ernest never doubted the rumor. The day came. People were waiting for Mr. Gathergold along the road.
"Here comes Mr. Gathergold!"
a group of people cried suddenly. A carriage drawn by 4 horses came along. In it was a little old man with yellow hands and face. His eyes were sharp and his lips were thin.
"The very image of the Great Stone Face!" shouted the people. "The old prophecy has come true!"
By the roadside, Ernest saw old beggars. They held out their hands toward the carriage. Mr. Gathergold only dropped some coins on the ground. Ernest felt sad at the sight of what had just happened. He looked up at the Great Stone Face and said to himself,
"I am sure he will come. Don't fear, the man will surely come."
Years went by, and Ernest grew to be a young man. He still loved to look up at the Great Stone Face when the work of the day was over. He learned a lot of things from the great stone face, but people did not know that the great stone face was Ernest's teacher. He learned more from the great stone face than from books. He learned about a better way of life from the great stone face. Some years later, Mr. Gathergold died. He only left his house. His name was forgotten by the people. His house was turned into a hotel for the people who came to see the great stone face. One day, Ernest heard about a famous commander who was born in the village. After a long life of military service, he came back to the village. All the people in the village welcomed him, and a festival was held for him. Some said that his face looked like the great stone face. Ernest went to the festival with all the other people. Ernest stood on tiptoe. He hoped to see the guest, but he could not. There were too many people around him.
"The commander's face is exactly the same as the great stone face," cried a man. "The general! The general! Be silent! He's going to make a speech," some said. Ernest saw him. Alas! Ernest did not think that the general was like the great stone face. He had a cold look upon his face. His heart seemed as hard as iron. "This is not the man of prophecy," said Ernest to himself. "We must wait longer." The great stone face was sitting among the clouds. It looked like an angel dressed in gold. "Don't fear, Ernest. He will come," said his heart. Many years passed. Ernest was now a man of middle age. He was famous among the people of the village. He worked every day. His daily life was the same as before, but he always thought a great deal about mankind. He always hoped for a better world. Now again, there was a rumor about a very famous statesman. He was not rich like Mr. Gathergold. Unlike the general, he did not have a sword. He only had a tongue which was mightier than the sword. He spoke so wonderfully that everyone believed him. His name was well known all over the country. People wanted him to be president. They heard that the statesman looked like the great stone face. People called him Old Stony Face. One day, the statesman came to visit the village where he was born. All the people left their work and stood on both sides of the road to see him pass by. Among the people was Ernest. This time Ernest was very hopeful. The mountains echoed with the sound of music. "Here he comes!" cried a man near Ernest. There! Look at him and the great stone face! They are like twin brothers!" The people were throwing their hats and shouting. A carriage drawn by 4 white horses came. Old Stony Face was sitting in it. When he smiled at the people, Ernest thought that he looked a little like the great stone face. But Ernest could not find the same things in his face as he found in the great stone face. Ernest thought, something is missing. He was sad. Ernest's neighbor said, "Do you think he is the very picture of our old man of the mountain?" "No," said Ernest. "I see little or no likeness." "Ernest, I have waited longer than you, and I am not yet tired. Don't fear, the man will come," said his neighbor. Years went by. His hair turned gray. Now Ernest was an old man. The simple farmer, Ernest, had wonderful ideas which were not found in books. He got them from his everyday life. Many visitors, professors, and statesmen came from far away to see and talk with Ernest. After talking with Ernest, the visitors would leave the village.
When they looked up at the great stone face, they found a likeness to a human face, but they could not remember where. There was a poet who was born in this village. He often sang about the beauty of nature. His poems were beautiful. Everything in the village was lovely and wonderful in his songs. Ernest read the lyrics of the songs and was greatly moved by them. Ernest said to himself, "Oh, my great friend." He looked up at the great stone face. The face seemed to smile but did not answer a word. Though he lived far away, the poet heard of Ernest. He wanted very much to meet and talk with him. One summer morning, the poet took a trip to Ernest's home. He got off the train near Ernest's house. When he stood at the door, he found an old man with a big book in his hands. The old man stopped reading and looked up at the great stone face.
"Good evening," said the poet. "Can you give a traveler a night's lodging?"
"Yes, gladly," answered Ernest.
The poet sat down on the bench beside Ernest. The poet and Ernest talked together.
"I have never talked with a man like you," said the poet.
"Who are you, my good guest?"
said Ernest. The poet pointed at the book that Ernest was reading.
"You have read these poems, haven't you?" he said. "Then you know me, because I wrote them."
Ernest looked at the poet's face and then turned toward the great stone face. Then he shook his head.
"Why are you so sad?"
Ernest said.
"When I read these poems, I hoped that you might be the face. This is why I am sad."
"You hope to find in me the likeness of the great stone face? But I am not worthy of that."
The poet spoke sadly, and his eyes were wet with tears. Ernest's eyes were wet too. At the hour of the sunset, Ernest went to the villagers to talk with them. As usual, he went up to a big rock and stood beside it. He looked around with a friendly smile. Some people stood, and some sat or lay down on the grass. The golden rays of the sunset were beautiful. Ernest began to talk to the people. His words had power. The poet listened to Ernest and felt that Ernest's words were greater than any poem. With tears in his eyes, the poet looked at the good old man. He thought that Ernest had the likeness of the great stone face. At a distance, the great stone face was seen high up in the golden rays of the setting sun. The poet threw his arms upwards and shouted,
"Look, look! Ernest is the likeness of the great stone face!"
All the people looked up at Ernest and saw that the poet's words were true. They said that the prophecy had come true. Ernest came down to the poet when he finished talking. He took the poet's arm and walked slowly toward his home. He was still eager for some wiser and better man to appear with the likeness of the great stone face. The Magic Carpet. Once there was a king who had 3 sons. They were named Hussein, Ali, and Ahmed. The king also had a niece called Light of Day. She lived with them in the palace because her own parents were dead. She was so beautiful that all of the sons loved her. They all wanted to marry her, but the king said to his sons,
"You cannot all marry Light of Day. She must choose the one she loves."
Now the princess could not tell which she loved the most. "I love them all," she said when she was asked by the king. One day, the king sent for his 3 sons. He said to them, I know all of you love Princess Light of Day, but I can't give her to all of you. So, my sons, I'll ask each of you to go to a different country and to find something strange and wonderful. I want to have something that I have never seen before. The one who brings me the most wonderful thing may marry her."
The 3 princes were glad to hear this. Each one was sure that he would bring the most wonderful thing to the king. The king gave each of them enough money to spend for a year. The 3 brothers went out in merchants' clothing. The first day, they traveled together and spent the night at an inn. The next morning they parted. Each brother took a different road. They promised to come back to the same inn at the end of 1 year. Prince Hussein traveled for many days. He reached a big city. In the city, there were a lot of merchants who were selling all kinds of goods. Soon he found a room to live in. Then he walked from shop to shop. He saw many strange and wonderful things in the different shops. The beautiful silks and velvets surprised him very much. The prince walked so far along the streets that he was very tired. As he looked very tired, one of the merchants said, "Please come in and take a rest." The prince thanked the merchant for his kindness and went in. Just then, another merchant passed by the shop. He was trying to sell a carpet. He was calling, "40 bags of gold! 40 bags of gold!" Prince Hussein went out and looked at the carpet. It was only 6 feet long. He said,
40 bags of gold? It is very expensive. I've never seen such an expensive carpet. Besides, it looks old."
"You are right," said the merchant. "It is old, but this is a magic carpet. When you sit on it and make a wish to go anywhere, the carpet will take you there at once."
"If that is true, it is worth 40 bags of gold," said Prince Hussein. "How do I know if your story is true or not?"
"Well, I will let you try it. Then you will see that I am right," said the merchant.
The merchant put the carpet on the ground. Prince Hussein sat down on it with the merchant. Prince Hussein said,
"I wish to go to my room in this city."
Instantly the carpet rose into the air, and soon it came down in Prince Hussein's own room.
"Well, well, you did tell the truth,"
cried the prince.
"I've never seen such a strange and wonderful carpet as this. I will buy this carpet and give you 40 bags of gold and 20 gold pieces extra." "This carpet is the most strange and wonderful thing in the world. I can marry the princess," thought Prince Hussein.
He stayed there a little longer, for he didn't have to go back to the inn in a hurry. All this time, Prince Ali was traveling with some jewelers. He talked so much about jewels that they thought he was a jeweler too, and so they asked Prince Ali to stay with them. The next morning, Prince Ali took a walk and looked at the wonderful jewels in the shop. Soon he saw a merchant going up and down the street with a small white tube in his hand.
40 bags of gold,
called the merchant. Prince Ali went up to the merchant and said,
"Are you crazy? Why do you ask 40 bags of gold for such a little tube?"
The merchant answered with a smile,
"This tube is really worth more than 40 bags of gold."
"Why is it so wonderful?"
asked the prince.
"Well, I will tell you," answered the merchant. "There is a looking glass inside the tube. When you look in the glass, you can see anything you wish to see. Try it." Prince Ali took the tube and wished to see his father in the palace. His father was walking around and talking. "This is wonderful," cried the prince. "Now I wish to see Princess Light of Day." As soon as he made the wish, he could see her in the garden. She was laughing and talking with her ladies-in-waiting. Prince Ali said, "Merchant, you are not crazy. I have never seen such a wonderful tube. I will buy it." Prince Ali was very happy. He thought he could marry the princess. Then he started for the inn. Prince Ahmed also reached a big city. He walked around much longer than his brothers did to find beautiful things. One day he found a merchant calling out, 40 bags of gold for this apple." He asked the merchant, "Why is that apple worth 40 bags of gold?" "Take it in your hands and you'll see it is wonderful," said the merchant. "If you give this apple to a sick person, he will get well soon. Even a dying person will be well again when he smells this apple," he added.
Oh, I have a very sick friend. I want to buy the apple myself,
said a man.
But I don't have 40 bags of gold.
"Take us to your friend," said Prince Ahmed. The man took them to a house nearby. There was a very sick person in it. They were shocked at his appearance. He was dying. "Smell this apple," cried the merchant. As soon as the sick person smelled the apple, he became well and sat up. "How strange! The apple is the most wonderful thing in the world. I want it. Here are 40 bags of gold," said Prince Ahmed. He could hardly wait to show the apple to his brothers. He was sure he could marry the princess. He took the apple and began his journey back to the inn. Hussein and Prince Ali were already there. Prince Hussein, the oldest, said,
"My brothers, let us show our treasures to one another. Then we can decide who will marry the princess. My treasure is the carpet I am sitting on. I paid 40 bags of gold for it. This carpet doesn't look so wonderful, but it brought me here from a far country. It will take you wherever you wish to go. We can go home on this carpet. Now show me your treasures, Ali and Ahmed. Tell me if they are more wonderful than this."
"Well, your carpet is very strange and wonderful," said Prince Ali, the second son. "But I have something wonderful too. Here is a small tube. I paid 40 bags of gold for it. If you look through the glass in this tube, you can see anything you wish to see. Try it." Brother Hussein laughed and took the tube.
"Is this tube so wonderful? Let me see Princess Light of Day," said Hussein. He put the tube up to his eye and looked into it. Suddenly he cried out, "Oh, brothers, the princess is very sick in bed. All her ladies-in-waiting are crying beside her bed. I am afraid she is going to die soon. Then our wonderful treasures will be of no use. Take the tube and see for yourselves."
Prince Ahmed looked quickly through the tube. "Brothers, if we hurry, we may make her well. This magic apple will cure her. When the princess smells it, she will feel better at once," said Ahmed.
"Then let's go now. Come and sit down on my magic carpet. All of us can sit here," said Prince Hussein.
The three brothers sat down on the carpet. It rose into the air and took them instantly to the bedroom of Princess Light of Day. The ladies-in-waiting were surprised to see the three strange men coming in on a carpet. "Don't be afraid," said Princess Ahmed. "Don't be afraid," said Prince Ahmed. "We've come to make the princess well." Prince Ahmed went up to the side of the bed. He took the magic apple out of his pocket. As soon as the princess smelled it, she got well again. She sat up and looked around and saw the three brothers. She was very glad to see them. Then she went out to change her clothes. While she was dressing, the 3 brothers went to the king. The king was waiting for them. He was shown their treasures and was asked to tell who could marry the princess. But the king didn't say a word. He thought and thought. He sat still for a long time. At last the king said, "I can't decide who can marry Princess Light of Day. Prince Ahmed's apple saved the life of the princess, and Prince Ali's tube showed you all the danger she was in. It is also true that Prince Hussein's carpet brought you all here. Each of the treasures was very helpful for her. Therefore, not one of the 3 treasures is greater than another. Oh, I can't decide. What shall I do? Well, I will give you another test. Shoot an arrow. I will give the princess to the man who shoots the farthest." The princes agreed with the king's plan. Prince Hussein, the oldest, bent his bow and shot his arrow first. Prince Ali shot next, and his arrow was seen to fall a good way beyond his brother's arrow. Prince Ahmed shot last of all, but he shot the farthest. Then the king said, "I will give Princess Light of Day to Prince Ahmed." Prince Ahmed jumped for joy to hear the words. When Light of Day heard about the result of the test, she was very glad because she would be able to give her heart to only one person, Prince Ahmed. A few days later, they got married and they lived happily ever after. The Magic Scythe. Many years ago, a workman lived in the south. He was in debt and needed money. He wanted to go to the north to earn money by cutting hay. On his way to the north, he was caught in a sudden storm in the mountains and he lost his way. He put up a tent, cooked his meal, and began to eat. When he was eating, a brown dog came into his tent. The dog was dirty and wet. He gave some bread and meat to the dog. Then the big dog ran out into the storm. The workman finished his supper, and then he used his saddle for a pillow and went to sleep. That night he dreamed a strange dream. In his dream, a tall, wrinkled old woman said,
"My friend, thank you for being so kind to my poor dog. Here is a scythe. I give it to you. I'll place it under your pillow. This scythe can cut down anything."
The next morning, the man got up early. The storm was over and the sun was shining brightly. He began to put his things together. When he lifted his saddle, he found a small scythe underneath it. It was very old. The man thought about his dream, so he took the scythe and set out for the north. At last he got there and went from house to house, but he could not find any work. After a while he met a farmer. The farmer told him about a strange woman. The farmer said she was very rich, and he believed that she knew magic. The man went to the rich woman's house and offered to work for her.
"I will hire you, but you won't get paid," she said, "if you cannot cut more hay than I can gather."
He agreed to try, and at once he began to use his scythe. He found it a very good one. He worked hard with it. That night he dreamed a strange dream again. In his dream, he met the same old woman that he dreamed of on the stormy night in the mountains. She said,
"You cut a lot of hay, but the old woman will be able to gather more hay than you can cut, and she will drive you away without paying you. I'll tell you what, go to the forge now and get some more scythes, then put them before the uncut hay."
The next day the man set to work. The rich woman came to the meadow early in the morning. She was carrying 5 rakes. She said,
You cut a good bit of hay. Now you will see how fast the hay can be harvested.
She spread 5 rakes on the hay. She took one of them and began to gather hay. The other 4 rakes began to gather as much hay as she did. At noon, he understood that she would defeat him, so he went to the forge. He brought some scythes to the field and spread them on the uncut hay. Then all the scythes began to work at once. They cut down the hay so fast that the rakes could not keep up with them. In this way they worked until sunset. The workman could cut hay faster than she could gather. As it was getting dark, the woman told the man to stop working.
You are wiser than I, said the old woman, so I will give you your wages.
The workman worked there for a whole summer. He cut a large amount of hay. In the fall, she sent him away with plenty of money to pay his debts.